Meeting will come to order, please. The notice requirements of the Open Public Meetings Act for this meeting have been satisfied. Would you please all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Attention, salute. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Would you call the roll, please?
Mayor Becker,
Here.
Commissioner Amadeo, Commissioner Blumberg.
Here.
We have before us for approval the minutes of our May 3rd meetings. What is your pleasure?
I'll make a motion we approve those minutes.
I second that motion.
Mayor Becker,
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg.
Yes.
We will now open for public comment. At this period, you have 3 minutes. You may discuss any subject. Is there any public comment?
Seeing none.
You wish, solicitor. You got to ease up on. You got to ease up on those psychotropics.
I didn't see it.
Mayor, we haven't begun yet. Would you click me back to 3 minutes?
How do you define we?
Listen, don't run the clock. I haven't given my name and address. Set it back to 3 minutes.
I don't know how to do that.
We'll add them on it.
All right, Mayor. You want to be a turkey? Your inept, incompetent school board and its solicitor seem to suffer from your same malady, acute and chronic cognitive impairment, or they were in total denial of Tracy Santora's clear pronouncement at the Board of Estimate hearing. Quote, as we get closer to that 300 number, it becomes more doable, end of quote. Mayor, at that same meeting, you were gutter sniping. Quote, I'm offended by Mr. Sewell. I wish he'd get his numbers straight. I don't know where he gets them from. Mayor, I'm not surprised. You can't remember diddly squat. So I'm glad to show you in black and white precisely where I get my numbers from. But they're really not my numbers, but rather New Jersey Department of Education park numbers, and they are horrific. We're paying $32,129 per pupil per year, and fully 1/3 of the sixth graders can't meet minimum math expectations. Mayor, you look at the numbers yourself. They don't lie, unlike you. Mayor, you should be offended by these numbers. You're not, because you refuse to keep your solemn sworn oath to uphold the New Jersey Constitution that expressly, specifically mandates a thorough and efficient education. Mayor, don't be sucked in by bogus blue ribbon BS. They award blue ribbons to pigs at state and county fairs. Mayor, not only do you break your solemn sworn oath, but your entire school board does as well. As Arthur has pointed out, Margate schools fail all 7 categories of efficiency. Thus, there's no efficiency, and the park scores clearly indicate no thorough teaching. It's time for radical change. It's time this year to pull the trigger and right-size to one and only one school. Start by releasing Longport from its sending agreement with Margate, and you are easily within Tracy Santora's doable number. Stop procrastinating, Mayor. It's time to do what needs to be done. You're duty-bound by your solemn oath to provide a thorough and efficient education. Mayor, now you know exactly why I rightfully and truthfully declare that education in Margate is neither thorough nor efficient. Get it through your head, Mayor, because if you keep talking crazy, you'll earn a free one-way ticket to Meadowview. Thanks a lot, Mayor. 10 seconds for you.
Thank you.
Anytime, Mayor.
Art Cotilli, 114 North Lancaster Avenue. John mentioned there are 7 areas of efficiency, and sure enough, Margate fails all 7. The top 3 are building maintenance, cost per pupil, and staff cost. And all of those are related. I know some people like to say that the cost per pupil is just a number. I know our superintendent does. He says because as the number of students go down, the fraction goes up. Well, that's nothing. That's not the whole point. The point of it is it shouldn't go up. The same, if you decrease the denominator, which is the number of pupils, you should decrease the cost as well proportionally, and it won't go up. So if we look at the state median, the cost per pupil is 60% above the state median. Now, that's an enormous amount, because the state median means that half of the state is above it, half is below it. But we're 60% above it, so we're up with the big guys. And when it comes to when it comes to building maintenance, we're 100% more than the state median. I mean, give us a break. I think you can look around at the people who were here at the last meeting. They're all elderly people. We don't have people with a lot of young school-age children. We need a break from the school taxes. Let's look at what we can do. Since building maintenance is 100%, we've allocated $1 million. They haven't spent it, I'm sure, just because they repaired 2 units on the roof that failed. I think we should try to do something greater than that. There's two buildings. So naturally, we're going to be more because we have to fix 2 buildings instead of 1. Let's get rid of one of them. And the oldest building is Thai School. It's no magic. They need a lot of work. So let's look at, I know when we talked to the superintendent, he says it's tough because we got to modify, and cost millions of dollars to modify Thai School to take the little kiddies with the little bathrooms. Well, let's keep Ross then, and let's just use some of that $1 million to modify the 3rd floor, which won't interfere with the little kiddies that are in the younger grades. And we won't have to change Thai in all the younger grades because Ross School already can accommodate it. Just let's stop having 2 half-empty schools, and let's go to 1 school. That'll also address the cost per pupil and the staff costs as well as the building maintenance. Thank you.
Thank you, Art. Any other public comment?
I was trying to cut down to 1. I was talking to my new neighbors back there, Ed Berger, 9402 Amherst Avenue. I came up originally to talk about two of the ordinances that are on the table for tonight. The first one I was just talking to Sean about in the back, and it's the electrical situation. Apparently Atlantic City Electric has asked you guys for an easement to place a power pole directly across the street from the Harbor Vista condominiums in order to feed the power for that side of the street. Currently, the power pole is between 2 buildings across the street, and it's unobtrusive. Because that power line, as I was just being instructed, in order to feed that line would be going across Sean's property, and I guess obstructing the building. Is that over the property line? That Atlantic City Electric asked to relocate that pole, and the pole is now being relocated directly across from 9400 Amherst and my house, which is right next door. So we've now got 2 50-foot buildings and what is going to be a very obtrusive power pole directly across the street from us if you guys go ahead and grant the easement easement by approving this ordinance. So on behalf of me, who would prefer not to be staring at transformers out my bedroom window, you guys got your ratables. Mr. Gormley got his building. My neighbors and I have gotten a little bit of the shaft along the way. I would not like to get the pole as well. So if something can be done by either belaying the ordinance to try and find another source, and if Atlantic City Electric can find another way to feed these buildings, I would like to at least ask the city to have them explore that before going ahead and granting that easement. The second issue that I wanted to bring up is not a new one for me. We're talking about the vacation of the 300 square feet of Amherst Avenue. I talked to Sean about it before, and I talked to you guys about it in the planning board as well. Apparently, in order to make room for the promenade, the wonderful physical figment of our master plan promenade, Sean had to be able to give up another 3 feet, and that's why his parking spots had to come out an additional 3 feet in order to make room for the promenade up front. The promenade's not been funded. I don't know if it's ever going to be funded. I know that with the way the situation at the end of Adams Avenue is right now, it's one of the busiest intersections on Amherst Avenue. It's a street that goes away from Amherst, but on any given night, I could assure you that anywhere from 12 to 20 cars go down it the wrong way from the parking lots from behind the restaurants. It's a very dangerous corner to begin with. We've now added the business that's going to be across the street at Sean's building in a restaurant. That's another 149 people, if you will, in that immediate area. It's a bad intersection to begin with, and you're about to approve taking another 300 square feet of street away, which I believe is going to significantly increase the danger in that area for the people that not only live there, but the people that take advantage of what Amherst has to offer down there. And I just have one more quick things, guys. I know I'm over the top. And I have one question. Another one of the developments of the development across the street was the discussion of the exchange of parking spots in exchange for the building of the bulkhead at the Jimmy Leeds property. Is that something that has happened, or has it not happened, or is it going to happen?
That's good. Scott, what is this?
It has not happened as
Not
of yet. It's on the table. I believe that was a part of their planning board approval, that they showed that they
Right.
wanted 7 spaces.
That they wanted 7
Well,
spaces?
one time they owned 125 feet. We got into a little issue with who actually had good title to that. They voluntarily deeded it back so that the city got the full 125. Now they want the city to allow them to use, I think it's roughly 50 feet, I'm not sure the exact amount of land. It has not been done yet, but it is certainly on the table.
Scott, is that going to be done as an accommodation, or is that going to be done as in exchange for the building of the
I think part of
bulkhead?
the deal is that they're gonna build a brand-new bulkhead for the entire length of there, regardless of who actually owns it or doesn't own it. So, and I'm not quite sure how many feet that is right off the
think it's
top line, but I
140
know
or
it's,
something, yeah.
it's pretty expensive. And those spaces will be, as I understand it, directly in front of their building, and will allow them to have the stairway so that they can, I guess, get over the bulkhead or have handicapped access or whatever it is they need it for.
Is there going to be the availability for public input on that transfer? I mean, I
There
know
always is.
There's always public.
there's,
Yeah.
Ed, the ordinances that are on the agenda are being introduced. In 2 weeks, there'll be a hearing on each ordinance.
well, it's not one of these.
Not this one.
It's
but-
not this
but
one I'm talking
The other
about,
one
yeah.
for Gormley's. on
Yeah,
the
yeah,
left.
no, I understand that.
All ordinances have public input, a hearing, whatever you want to call it. Okay? Thank you, Ed.
Mike, if I may.
You may.
In deference to Mr. Berger, I would like, and I don't mean to put Sean or Ben or Mark on the spot, but I would like to ask a question, if they're willing to answer. Has there been any conversations with Atlantic City Electric related to the concern that Ed has? Certainly it sounds
Time's up.
it sounds like it might be obtrusive for him. Has there been any discussions?
Mark Gallagher.
Ben Zeltner, representing
Thank
Harbor Bay. Mark is Sean Gormley's builder for Harbor Bay.
Atlantic Electric met with James Galantino, the code official for the city of Margate. There were 3 wires on the pole from the corner of Amherst and Adams Avenue in front of 9400 Amherst Avenue. They crossed Amherst Avenue at an angle, and they feed Sprinkles and Juniors. They did not feed Captain Andes.
Right.
Those wires had no right of way, they had no right to be there, and they were going across Mr. Gormley's private property. In order to refeed those Sprinkles and Juniors, Atlantic Electric mandated, and James Galantino, the code official for the city of Margate, agreed that they build a new bank of transformers on Adams Avenue between Amherst and Monmouth, refeed the pole at in front of 9400 with more power, and then turn 90 degrees and go down to the pole directly in front of Maynard's. That allowed them to then feed Sprinkles and Juniors. The pole, the newly installed pole across Amherst Avenue was not there to feed Mr. Gormley or Mr. Leeds' property. It is not required to do that. We asked them, and we would have agreed to fund it if we could go under Amherst Avenue and come from the pole, existing pole, in front of 9400 Amherst Avenue. They said the engineering requirements required that that pole be there, not to give us electricity, but to act as a backstay to hold up the line of poles going down Adams Avenue. So that pole is not there to provide us power. It's there to provide another pole and then a 15-foot anchor back to hold up the line of poles that they're required to go down Amherst Avenue. So it had nothing to do with us. That was fully explained after several meetings with the city of Margate, with the code official, James Galantino, who then granted them the approval to put the pole there.
Ask him what's on that
So do we know if there's any other place that anchoring pole can be placed?
I can't hear, it needs to be recorded, Ed.
Ed,
There's nothing on.
Again, we asked them through a series of several meetings the very same question. We asked them, can we come down Jefferson Avenue and put a pole over there where it wouldn't be in front of Mr. Berger or anybody else's, and then we would pay to go underground all the way down to that pole. We'll pay the extra money. And they said no because of what they call voltage drop. So they, believe me, this discussion was had all around with Atlantic Electric and James Galantino, and it was absolutely required in order for it to be there. But again, they're not doing it to give us power. We could have taken power from across the street. It's to refeed Sprinkles and Juniors, and that's why. But we were willing to spend thousands of extra dollars to not have that pole there.
Well, and so thank you. For me, Ed, and I'm sorry, I'm satisfied that you've done your due diligence to protect not only yourselves, but the neighbors.
Thank you.
And I hope that if it remains an issue for Ed and his neighbors, that maybe it's something that they can take up with Atlantic City Electric. I don't know if they can or can't, but thank you.
Yeah, you're
Appreciate you coming and taking the time.
If I could just say one thing about the street vacation ordinance number 12, any concerns as far as traffic were addressed by the planning board at the time, and they recommended to the governing body to vacate that section of road. So all of that was addressed at the planning board. Thank you.
thank you. Okay,
Thank you, Mike.
thank you, Scott. All right. Joanne, do we close public?
No, we need to do that. I'll make a motion, we close public.
Second,
Mayor Becker,
yes.
Commissioner Blumberg.
Yes.
We will now open comment on resolutions on today's agenda. Is there any public comment?
I'll make a motion, we close.
I second that.
Mayor Becker,
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg.
Yes.
Johanna, please.
May I have a motion for the introduction of ordinance number 7, 2018, bond ordinance appropriating $2,150,000 and authorizing the issuance of $2,042,500 in bonds and notes of the city of Margate for various capital improvements or purpose authorized to be undertaken by the city of Margate.
I'll make that motion.
Second,
Mayor Becker?
yes.
Commissioner Blumberg?
Yes.
May I have a motion for ordinance number 8, 2018, bond ordinance providing for various water and sewer utility capital improvements in and by the city of Margate in the county of Atlantic.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Mayor Becker?
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg?
Yes.
May I have a motion for the introduction of ordinance number 9, 2018, an ordinance amending Chapter 257 Vehicles and Traffic of the Code of the City of Margate?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Mayor Becker?
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg?
Yes.
May I have a motion for ordinance number 10, 2018, an ordinance granting a utility easement to Atlantic City Electric Company affecting Block 528, Lot 2.03.
I'll make that motion.
Second,
Mayor Becker?
yes.
Commissioner Blumberg.
Yes.
May I have a motion for ordinance number 11, 2018, an ordinance amending and supplementing Chapter 145 flood damage prevention of the Code of the City of Margate.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Mayor Becker?
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg?
Yes.
May I have a motion for the introduction of ordinance number 12, 2018, an ordinance authorizing the vacation of a portion of right-of-way along Amherst Avenue in the City of Margate?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Mayor Becker?
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg?
Yes.
May I have a motion for resolution number 108, 2018, payments and claims?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Mayor Becker?
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg?
Yes.
May I have a motion for resolution number 109, 2018, authorizing the adoption of revised policies and procedures for management of federal aid projects?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Mayor Becker?
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg?
Yes.
May I have a motion for resolution number 110, 2018, authorizing authority for municipal banking?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Mayor Becker?
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg?
Yes.
Thank you, Johanna.
I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
I'll second that motion.
Mayor Becker?
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg?
Yes.